This is Chuck Huber, the voice of Android 17. You're listening to Anime Seekers. You better be, or I'm coming for you. Dragon of the Darkness, Flame!
Toku Secrets is a podcast run by the Anime Secrets website. Check us out at animesecrets.org for more anime, video game, tokusatsu content. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts today.
Hey guys, I'm Hunter Dino. I'm your Pink Dino Fury Power Ranger and your Red Cosmic Fury Power Ranger, and you're listening to Toku Secrets Podcast.
Welcome to Toku Secrets. Join us as we journey into the marvelous world of Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Power Rangers, and many other tokusatsu. Get ready for the adventure of a lifetime. It's Morphin' Time! Link to the Morphin' Quest. I'm Nathan Desai, the dazzling adventurer, Spoken Silver.
I'm Patrick Allen, I'm Shinken Red.
And I'm Ridwan Merchant, Gokai Red.
And I'm Anthony Davis, also known as Curia Green. And we're Toku Secrets.
What is going on, guys? Welcome, everyone, to episode number 128 of the Toku Secrets podcast, presented by animesecrets.org. And today, shortly before we kick into our next, Sentai that we're regularly reviewing, we want to review the next couple of episodes, or Bakuages, as they're called, of the current Sentai that is airing, Bakuage Sentai Boonboomger. We're going to be taking a look at Bakuages 2 through 4. We reviewed the first episode in depth, gave our overall thoughts on it, and what our first impressions were. We actually all liked it a lot. We all give it a much higher rating than we gave the King Oger premiere, so that is a definitely good sign. So we got a little bit more to talk about than we did last time with Boonboomger. We have the whole crew on, as you can tell from the intro. So now so I'll give a brief recap of last time, and then we'll jump right in. So the first episode primarily revolved around our, oddly enough, it actually did not revolve around the Red Ranger character a lot. It actually revolved around our future Pink Ranger. Her name was Mira Shifuto, who was taken from a forced wedding by a man named Taya Hondo, and he turns out that he's actually fighting against an evil group of aliens known as the Hashirians as Boon Red. And Mira decides, Mira, who's originally supposed to go with her boyfriend and flee town, she's thinking, you know what? I don't want to let other people run my life or be in the driver's seat of my life, as this series puts it. And she decides, I want to take charge of my own life. So she leaves her boyfriend and she becomes Boon Pink. She joins the Boonboomgers. And then we have the third person who's Taya's serious and no-nonsense, information gatherer named Ishiro, and he's Boon Blue. And together, they are Bakuage Sentai Boonboomger. And they have their Boon cars that can combine to form Boon Boom Robo, and they're assisted by this robot named Boondiro Boonderes. His name is Boon Boon for short. And the episode ended with Mira joining the team and Ishiro being against it. And that is a good way to segue into the next episode, the second episode, The Informant Does Not Approve, where pretty much most of this episode is... we get a little bit of backstory and some more stuff, since, they kind of have to do that, since the previous episode already established that Taya and Ishiro were already active as Boonboomgers. So we actually find out that Boon Boon he's not a robot. He's actually an alien who crashed on Earth. And Taya found him when he was a boy, and they quickly became friends. They created all the Boonboomger stuff together because Taya is apparently a super rich person, which the first episode kind of hinted at, because he literally said he was going to buy a whole clothing store for Mira, which was pretty cool. But they didn't protect it. They didn't create it to protect the Hashirians. It's all part of their dream, but we don't know what that dream is yet. We find out that the Hashirians are a group of aliens from different planets. They're all part of something known as the Space Mafia, and they want to expand their turf, which I got some stuff to say about that because I actually really love that story. We find out in a flashback that Taya recruited Ishiro to join him. He took a liking to him and his skills. And this episode ends with this. At the end of this episode, Ishiro is still very cold to Mira, but Taya is insisting that that he does trust her because. So it's definitely going to be one of those things where, apparently, I think Ishiro has a nickname called Shashiro. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but he has that nickname, and Taya can call him that. But every time Mira calls him that, it's like, no, you call me Ishiro. It's like that running gag in Decker Ranger where Bon is constantly calling Hoji Aibo his partner, and Hoji is all like, no, you don't call me partner. Stop that. So. Yeah, so that about wraps this the recap up. So what do we think about episode 2, guys? I just spoke for a little bit, so anybody want to go first?
It was fine. I was expecting them to go into a little bit more of I guess Ishiro's backstory, but they kind of hinted at some stuff. I'm guessing they're going to flesh that out a little bit later. But this was more of this felt like it was more introducing the actual day to day of how these guys function. We got more familiar with their base, so forth and so on. It just felt like more world building, while getting the characters a little bit more accustomed to one another.
Riz, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's a good episode. We got some, I think we got some pretty interesting backstory to kind of lay a foundation. The Boon bot, I think his name is Boon, the robot.
Yeah, Boon Boon.
Boon Boon, yeah. We got some info on him. He's an alien. We found out that he met Taya, and they're friends now. And honestly, like Patrick said, it's more like a world building type thing, but also we're getting a little bit more characterization for Isiru and Taya. Not a lot, but you're getting small tidbits here and there that we're going to flesh out more. Like, for example, one thing that they mentioned in this episode is expanded on later in the next couple episodes that we get in terms of the courier business that they're going through. We see more examples of it. But there is still that mystery of what is the mission that Taya and Boon Boon originally had to create the Boon Boons through powers.
Yeah.
And, he amassed so much money. But these are questions for another day still, which is fine. I like it. I'm okay with it. Because we're not getting, all the info at one time. I'm okay with getting piece by piece here.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels more organic this way.
I mean, if we found out that Gira was Dog Dead's Jesus baby in the second episode of King Oger, the whole series would just be boring. So.
No.
Exactly. So, I mean, yeah. I'm okay with how we're going right now. The pacing's been really good. I really enjoy the three characters a lot.
Yep.
I'm enjoying it so far because I still think Mira is my favorite out of the three. I love Boom Red too. I just love his cool demeanor of being both I appreciate Mira. She's I picked her for a cause, and that's what it's going to be Shashiro. You might not like it, but that's just how it is.
I want to get your guys' take on this because I'm kind of curious. So I actually was reading a recap of the episode on a guy who reviews these episodes regularly, Sentai whenever they're airing. It's on the website Dried Mangoes. He got the idea that like there's that Ishiro, based on the flashback that we see with him and Taya, that Ishiro might actually have a crush on Taya. Like there might be like a romantic attraction. What do you guys
I
Nah,
think?
don't see it.
I don't
No,
see it
I
either.
don't see it either.
that's that's part of our fandom trying to create things that are not.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's not even a single inkling of an inkling of an inkling of an inkling.
Uh-uh.
Is that 5 inklings? No, I need one more. Of an inkling.
Okay.
I was trying to get 5 inklings in my sentence.
I think in that flashback, he more so had this face of befuddlement, like
Okay.
who is this guy? Kind of like surprise face more
Right.
than anything else.
I mean, and honestly, that's anyone's first reaction to Taya. I mean,
Yeah.
who the heck is this guy with a nice car and all the money to be able to buy a clothing store just because he wants one outfit for the girls?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Mhm.
no, that's in the next episode. I can't say it here. It's in
Yeah.
the thing. But yeah, just throw money around like that. Like who does that? So I don't blame him for having a reaction to the guy. It's valid.
Okay, I was just
Yeah.
curious.
I do like that because this is the episode where he bought the junkyard too. I hope this becomes a running gag where he just buys things in places for the sake of convenience.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was what I was wanting to mention, but I couldn't remember if this is the episode where he did it or the next one.
It was this one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting confused. I forget episode 2 and 3, so it's like,
And I just also want to say I love the backstory that they give the Hashirians, where they're like part of a space mafia trying to expand their turf. Like that type
Dude,
of villain backstory fits perfectly in a Sentai like this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not out to dominate the world. They're just looking to be mafia members, basically.
I mean, it honestly gives me vibes of the Bozak, the villains
from
from
Car Ranger. Yeah.
where they're not like trying to where they're not trying to conquer the world. They're just a bunch of they're just a stupid biker gang out to cause chaos.
Yeah.
They're trying to blow up Earth because they want to impress a bar hooker. I'm not even joking. Oh, I love Car Ranger.
Car Ranger's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, these Hashirians, I mean, okay, they're not going to be as like, deep, amazing villains like the Vyram, but they're going to be fun.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. I mean, because again, like, to bring up Goanger too, I really liked the Guy arc villains, like with their whole thing. Like the villains have to be kind of fun in this, and they don't have to be like deep, like emotional people like Ray or someone like that.
Yeah.
I just want to pollute the Earth, dang it.
But what do we want to give Bakuage to, guys?
I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, I'll do
go
8.
with an 8.
I'll go to 8 as well.
Cool. All right, now let's move on to Bakuage 3, The Driver Won't Stop. This is mostly a Mira-centric episode where Mira gets her first solo delivery job as a courier. And just a couple of notes about this one. We get our first auxiliary mech of the season, the Boon Boom Classic. It's a classic sports car-like mech. It transforms into a sword that can be used by Boonboomger Robo. And this episode actually ends. It sets up the next episode, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. Job Officer Joe Akuze, he's a bumbling police officer. We've seen him in all the previous episodes where he gets caught in the middle of the Boonboomgers battles. He arrives back at police headquarters where this mysterious woman claiming to be an investigator approaches him to ask him questions about the Boonboomgers. And we'll talk about where that leads into the next episode. But yeah, that's about all we need to know about this one. So, what do we think about episode 3, guys?
This episode was hilarious.
This episode was so adorable.
I just,
Like, I don't
It's by
know.
far my favorite.
the
I
skit
don't know
of
if I
them
want to say
like
adorable or hilarious.
yeah, like that skit of them like sword clashing with the enemy, and then Mira just rides by on her bicycle, and then a few seconds later she comes back around.
And like how Taya and Isuru gave such a detailed reason for why she's doing that, only for
Just
her
be
to be
wrong.
like, and just for her to be like, no, I thought you guys wanted me to ignore you guys and continue on my mission.
The Taya's like, I like that. What?
Dude, that interaction between her and Taya at the end makes me like Taya even more. Because
It's like,
I don't know what it is
Right.
she's looking for.
it's like she
She just likes
surprised
the
even
spirit
us.
no matter what.
Yeah, she surprised even us. I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And then that skit of him like the because he's a grandfather clock. He's getting sick of people moving, so he tells them the mafia guys to stop moving. And then when he gets destroyed, they cut back to them on the bridge, and they're still cramping up because they don't want to move. It's like this episode is so stupid, but I love it.
Right. I
this
kind
episode
of miss these kind of like hilarious Sentais.
Yeah, this is what I was hoping it was when the stupid poster said "Coming Boon." I was hoping we'd get episodes like this.
Yeah, I was thinking, please be one of those Sentais that's stupid and wacky and knows that it's stupid and wacky and embraces how stupid and wacky it is.
Yeah,
It did.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
Like, I mean, literally every episode is like that one episode of, there's 2 episodes of Gokaiger technically, but it's like that episode of Gokaiger where the monster that was from the Car Ranger episode, falls in love with that Takayaki's person's mom. Oh, and there's like a scene in that episode where like the other monster of the day shows up and says, "Gokaigers, I got a score to settle with you."
Yeah.
And then Joe was all like, "Well, you shut up. We're talking with these people." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And
that episode really did nail the tone of Car Ranger perfectly. What is up with Red Racer getting alien women to fall in love with him? I don't get this.
Yeah.
What do they see?
But yeah, this is one that I'm
He got the Riz, he got the pizzazz.
The alien Riz.
whoa. Now, if anyone got the Riz.
Wait, you've never heard that term before? You not heard that term before, Riz?
I know the term. I know it very well.
Yeah.
In fact, I had some Gen Alpha and Gen Z nephews that were going around and saying they got more Riz than each other and this, that, and the other. I'm sitting here like, y'all just say y'all got all the Riz you want, but I'm the OG when it comes to Riz.
Your name is Riz. You can't get any more real than that.
With only one Z. With one Z. Riz spelled with two, but the Riz we're talking about spelled with two
Yeah, I know
Z's.
Riz all too well. Nate, I'm giving this like a 9.5, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need
This
two
is a
Z's.
9 for me.
Yeah, this is. I'm gonna go with Rizwan. This is a 9.5. This episode I was laughing the whole time. So
This is my
That
favorite.
one
I'm gonna go with a
scene,
10
Patrick,
because
where
it
she's trying to
just
find
made me
the
laugh that
wrestling
much.
was
Uh-huh.
enough for me to give this a 9.5.
I know,
Right there,
like
that one
they're
scene.
they're sword locked, and then she goes pedaling by, and the monster's like, "Stop moving!" and chases after her. It's like, what is happening? This is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, no problem with that. Like, if you want to give episodes like this a 10, I'm totally all for it.
I mean, I would, but I'm holding my 10 because I know there's going to be even more fun stuff later.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, so now we got the last one that we're reviewing for the day. Bakuage 4, A Voice Calling for a Hero. This picks up from where the previous one left off, where the woman, her name is Saibu Shirabe. she's an investigator for the International Space Agency, ISA, and that investigates and monitors extraterrestrial activity. And she's become aware of the Hashirians, and she approaches the Boonboomgers, June in tow. She demands that they turn over all their equipment and hand over their responsibilities to the ISA, but Taya says, "No, we're not going to do that. Screw you. And if you try to arrest us, come at us. Like, just come at us." He literally says that, and June is inspired, especially by all the people growing to admire the Boonboomgers as heroes. But then the Boonboomgers, they defeat the monster of the day, and she's convinced to let them fight their way. But there's one condition. She wants to appoint someone to monitor them for the ISA, and you could probably guess where this is because the casting kind of already spoiled that. And not only that, but literally the ending theme song even kind of spoils this already. June is joining them, and we already knew that he was going to become a Boonboomger because we said in the previous video too that he's supposed to become Boon Black. So this is like a prelude to him becoming Boon Black. And what do we think about episode 4?
Low-key, I wasn't expecting the episode to go in this direction. Because it looked like it was going to be a silly comedic episode again at first when Mira got arrested. But then it turned into like I like this dynamic of a government agency catching on to what's going on early and then having them be like assistants to the team in some way. I don't know. There's just something about this dynamic that intrigues me for the future.
Yeah.
Because
it gives me a little bit of a... This is going off fandom, Patrick, but this is something that you and Anthony will understand, but Digimon Tamer vibes in terms of like...
Hypnos. Yeah.
Hypnos working with the Tamers of that season.
Yeah.
Like, they don't necessarily... They're not on the same team in the beginning, but definitely they're all involved together and they know each other and what's going on.
Yeah.
So, I actually like the direction they went in here because it gives a good opening to give more complicated dynamics later with character development.
Yep.
Because we can start having like interpersonal problems with the Sentai team and the ISA.
This episode makes me really like Taya, just the way that he just kind of looks, Shirabe in the eye and just kind of, just nonchalantly says, "Okay, you want to arrest us? Come at us. I don't care. We're going to do this our way, and there's nothing you can do about it." But he says it with like this calm smile on his face. Like, again, I said this in the previous one, but like as someone who has seen his fair share of Sentai, Taya hits me in a way that I don't think any other Sentai Red ever has.
Yeah, I
really like Taya a lot. Yeah, he's like I think I said it last time. He's the weird mix of super serious Takeru Marvelous while also being goofy like King or somebody like that, But he does it in a way that's really cool. Like, he doesn't go over the top with the humor. His humor is more witty than it is, like, in your face. Because, like, with Gira, with King, with those kind of Reds, the humor is more in your face, more, haha, look at me, I'm this overbearing personality. But he's not overbearing, but he's definitely still very quirky and very witty.
Yeah, and and I gotta love how he's much different than the other Reds that we've gotten in these more comedic Sentais. Because I love Red Racer and I love Sosuke from Go On Red, but those guys are both kind of a bunch of dumbasses. I'm not gonna lie. Like, fun
Saying
characters.
Go on Red. Go
I'm
on
not
Red
saying
is
that they're,
definitely
like,
an idiot.
yes. Now, he's a fun idiot. He's a lovable idiot. I'm not
Yeah.
going to trash talk Sosuke. He's a great
Yeah.
character, but he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Complete dumbass.
Yes.
Go on Gold
that's
is
literally what
applauding
he
you in
is,
the
like-
background for saying that, by the way.
Exactly.
I might start watching Go On here on the side.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm
It's pretty funny.
vouching for us to watch Ginga Man after. I'm vouching for us to watch Go Onger after we're done with Ginga Man. We need to do that.
I was actually going to recommend we go like into some of our nearest Sentais after, but we should definitely discuss Go Ons or more as well.
Yeah,
'cause
honestly, we could put Go Busters on hold and probably do Go Onger.
we need to give the Go Onger the love it deserves. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because not enough people are loving Go Onger.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's not liked enough in Sentai, because everyone I've talked to loves it. But when you're looking at our Super Sentai Reddit, hardly anyone ever recommends it.
Yeah.
I don't. I've yet to understand that myself, but
Because I was looking at Reddit earlier today, and I saw like a recommendation thread, and they have the obligatory Senkenzer, Go Kaiser. Somebody said go watch Zero Ranger, and I was like, why? But
no.
whatever. Somebody put in there Ginga Man. I put in there go watch Time Ranger because Time Ranger is pretty dang awesome. But no one in that thread that I saw mentioned Go Onzer.
Yeah.
People mentioned Geki Ranger, and I'm just sitting here like,
no, Go Onger craps on Geki Ranger.
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
Patrick, Geki Ranger craps on Geki Ranger.
But yeah, I'm with these 4 episodes. I mean, I just want to say that, like, so far, like, and granted, I still have to watch everything after Ryu Soldier. So I haven't seen like the first 3 seasons of this era, but these two Reiwa era Sentai seasons that we've seen thus far, King Oger and Boom Boomger, like, I feel like we're kind of low key, kind of in a new like golden. Well, I don't want to say golden age just yet because we need to have a couple of good Sentai in a row. But I feel like as of right now, we're in a pretty good. It's a pretty good time to be a Super Sentai fan.
Yeah, the season's definitely starting off on the right foot for sure.
I think part of this is coming from the fact that there's a lot of speculation online, and I don't want to get too much into the speculation without having all the facts, but people have been saying the reason that Sentai has been getting better lately is because we no longer have Power Rangers trying to adapt it. So Japan's able to do whatever they want, how they want, without having to worry about the American audience as well.
They've also been
I don't think that's
introducing
a
new
real
writers.
thing.
I think it's more so because you look at King Oger and this one, they're first time Sentai writers. We're getting new blood into the series. So they have ideas. They have fresh ideas. So maybe it's a turning of an era. So that has something
honestly,
to do with it.
this is probably also like the head writers probably grew up on Sentai and they're enjoying it more, like growing up on the Sentai that we like, not like old school Sentai from like the Heisei era or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so I could see them being like, oh, I'm a fan of Go On, I'm a fan of Car Ranger, I'm a fan of, whatever, Time Ranger.
I had this idea in my head since I was a teenager. And I've been refining it for decades. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think King Ozer, honestly, like, I probably is a longtime fan.
Mm-hmm.
And that was his way of getting his idea out into the world. Because the detail of what he wrote and gave, I mean, that's, to me, unparalleled in Sentai.
Mm-hmm. There are a couple of... I'll wait until we're done talking about the episode, because this is more of like a general thing I want to talk about.
What do we want to give episode 4 out of 10, just to wrap that up?
I'll give it an 8 also.
8.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah.
All right, so what was it you wanted to say, Patrick, real quick?
There's a couple of little aesthetical things I wanted to talk about. The first thing is I love how these guys fight. The way that they use like the tires on their costumes as like extensions of their punches and kicks. How like when they attack with their swords and stuff, they turn it like a steering wheel to like direct shots around. Like just that kind of goofy stuff makes the fights in the season have been very entertaining so far. And I love this thing of when they destroy the monster and that little thing comes in and absorbs the gasoline, and they have to chase them through like this cybernetic highway thing. Each one of those, they handle him in a different way, and they're kind of silly where they like drop on him and like smack him with the trailer like a hand or something. Like they know how to keep each little thing about the show fresh, because like the main mecha stuff can be a little bit exhausting sometimes in some of these shows because they usually get handled the same way. So this little highway thing is a way to, keep it interesting.
Yeah.
Which
Totally.
I think
those.
seasons like this, because even King Oger had that problem of the mecha fights, outside of them being like major conflicts, were just kind of like throwaway moments to me. And I haven't felt that way.
And sometimes we don't even have them in episodes.
Yeah. And King Oger even acknowledged that you don't always need the mech fight. But Boon Boonger's is doing a way of keeping it interesting, and I respect it for that.
Yeah, I totally do too.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of makes up for a little bit that like Boon Boomger Robo isn't really the best looking mech. Not going to say it's bad. I mean, because it's not. Like I'm not going to.
I will give it props for having.
Tokyo.
Yeah, I will give it props for one of its main methods of attacking is unscrewing the enemy's armor.
I love that so much.
Just
this is like the second episode where it's got like this giant drill screwdriver that it uses to take things apart.
It's such a stupid way of dealing with the enemy, but I love it.
And that might actually be the most wacky way that like a Sentai mech has done stuff. Because I mean, Power Ranger and Go-Onger had their like goofy mech battles, but it wasn't like a regular thing. Like for example, there's like an episode where like they have to deal with a monster in Go-Onger that is where well, actually, no, I probably shouldn't say that because I don't want to spoil it for Riz. But to think of an example that you kind of see in Turbo, like there's an episode where when the signalman puts on this like coat, it turns him evil, and then when he calls whatever his mech is called, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah,
it's wearing the coat, and that's what makes it funny. Like that. Stuff like that is funny, but it doesn't happen regularly. Like if you look at RV Robo's finishing move, it's cool, awesome looking finisher, but it's something that would probably fit in just as well in like a serious Sentai. But even the finishing move of this mech is just wacky and stupid, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like so, Riz, you want to add anything?
No, I mostly agree with what Patrick was saying, and I mean, we had this talk before we got into the podcast, and yeah, he said basically what I was kind of thinking.
And we also mentioned the it wasn't necessarily a big issue with King Oger, but it did make the season feel a little bit more like it didn't make it feel as organic visually, where it was mostly done in green screens. I'm glad this season is doing more on location scenes. It's a bit of a fresh air because this was one of my personal issues with King Oger that I didn't really bring up because I didn't really know how to acknowledge it, but it was cool that they gave them the freedom to like make the world more unique in King Oger, but it came at the expense of everything being overly designed. I did not like the aesthetic of Chaku, to be honest with you, in hindsight. So being, in Tokyo again, I don't know. I just prefer it this way.
I have mixed feelings on that because I think for King Ozer it worked because
No,
they're
no,
on a
it
different planet.
worked.
It it and the aesthetics were really beautiful when they were like,
Yeah.
but at the same time, to me, tokusatsu at the base level is Japanese special effects, which is why stuff like Godzilla, King Kong, and all
Hmm.
the other MonsterVerse stuff falls into the category of tokusatsu. Um, But, having these practical effects come back where, there's a little bit of CZ in there, obviously, with the Zord fights and everything, but there's still a lot of, like, really good choreographical stuff and
Hmm.
just overall well-designed aesthetics to the battles and all that. I enjoyed the battle
Hmm.
scenes a lot in this,
Yeah.
especially the creativity with the wheels, which I was hoping that we get stuff like that when I saw his suit design, when I saw all the tires everywhere. But I didn't know if we were gonna get like them using the tires that much.
Yeah, and yeah, I would say that that's probably. I mean, they didn't. I don't know if they did this in Go Under or not. I think they did it in. I think the Go Kiters did it when they were transformed as the Go Onders. They definitely did it in RPM where they used like those wheel like things at the end of their
No,
gloves like
that
weapons.
was an RPM original idea. Go on, you never did that.
Okay. Yeah, but I just think like using the tires, like those tire like
Yeah.
weapons, that's a much more creative premise than.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't. I guess I can't go under credit for that if it was an RPM original thing.
Yeah. Go
So
Kaiser just took that from RPM in the
yeah,
fight scenes.
we don't really need to talk about the villains. I mean we've pretty much gone over everything with their backstory, and they're going to be fun, but not much to
I
talk about just
I
yet.
just
So
I do want to drop a passing comment that I love how they're basically don't interact with anybody. They just kind of put a key in something and then just laugh from the sideline. I don't know. There's just something about them being so mindlessly
Yeah,
harmless.
yeah, but again, it works in a Sentai
Yeah.
like this. So I'm definitely not complaining about that.
Nah.
Um, So let's do, and I know we're only 4 episodes in, so I mean, but so obviously these will be subject to change, but let's do our, ranking of our three rangers. Each of us can do that,
Um.
just as like the opening ranking, since we have a general
Yeah.
idea of what these three people are like.
Mira, Taya, and Ishiro in that order. Mira just makes me smile like an idiot. I love her. she 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 she's just a dweeb. She's just an energetic dweeb, and I love her.
yeah, definitely. My list is slightly different. It's Taya, Merritt, and Isidur.
I figured, but there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that at all.
I mean, honestly, I could have put anyone at the top and I've been okay, justifiably so, in
Yeah.
saying it because these guys are all really good characters, but there's just something about Taya, like Nate said earlier, that we all feel drawn to because he's so different
Mhm.
and different in a good way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna copy Patrick's ranking just because. Well, I mean, first of all, I didn't mention this, but the third episode really made me like Mira, just with how determined she was to like deliver that boy's mirror. That's what really made me
Yeah.
like her. I said this in the previous podcast, and I'm gonna say it again. I mean, Mira is already kind of making a case, and again, I still need to see these newer Sentai. I do hear that Kirame Pink is a pretty good pink, so I mean that could change it. But again, if I were to make a top five Pink Rangers where I'm not allowed to like put in like Tsuruhime or Rita or any of the White Rangers, I'm only allowed to do pinks. Mira, At least for right now, she's making a huge case already to be like a number one for me. Like she's just that good of a character. And yes, I know that that's a statement on how there's not that many memorable Pink Rangers in Sentai. I get that, but I don't care. She's still a great character. Like even if Yuri was as good as like half the fan base tries to make her out to be, she would still be in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers, it's not that great.
Yeah, I know. What about you, Anthony? Your
What's
your
yours?
ranking? Yeah.
The Rangers.
The Rangers.
The Rangers. Oh, did you?
Okay. Oh, okay, that's cool then.
I'm the odd one out. Hell yeah.
But do we want to give any more, just closing thoughts, on like on how we feel going into this? Because I mean, the next episode is things are going to get shaken up pretty quick because these were like the last. It's actually fitting that we ended here because these are the last episodes where we only have our main 3. Because next episode. They've already, that episode I think has already come out in Japan, so we know that Boon Red is going to come, and then we know that Boon Orange is coming pretty quickly. So,
Yep.
Yeah, this is definitely a fitting end. But
Mhm.
what closing thoughts do we have before we kind of enter, the next stretch?
Great first impression. The season's got my attention pretty well. So.
Yep.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, this season is becoming so good that I'm starting to actually not hate those suits nearly as much. Now, granted, again, I sat through 50 episodes of Battle Fever J, so there is not a suit in the world that can start my eyes. But
I mean, I'm the same way right now because I really thought I was going to not like the season because of the suits, but honestly, the suits are growing on me.
Yeah, with their practical, with the tires being used as weapons and stuff, and I think in motion they look a lot better. So,
Oh my god, yes, they do. They look better than the damn poster we got.
Oh, and the poster looked atrocious.
Yeah, the posters did not do justice to what we ended up getting, and thank God, because if I had to look at the posters for like, I don't know, 50 episodes, I could make it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what Boon Boomger has for the future. But that about wraps this up, guys who are listening. Next time we will be beginning our next Sentai that we're going to be reviewing from start to finish. We're going to be reviewing the first episodes, or in this case, chapters, as they're called. The first 10 chapters of Seiju Sentai Gingaman. We'll be taking a look at the first 10. And, we're definitely looking forward to taking a look at Gingaman. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Leave any comments down below with any feedback you'd like to give us. If you're listening to us, on Spotify or iTunes, we thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us. And you can reach out to us at animesecrets.org to give us feedback. And you can also check out our other podcasts, the Animated Classified and Jedi Squadron podcast. And also check us out on our social media pages on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of our other social media websites. You can check us out there to give us feedback. And that about wraps this up. We thank you guys so much again for taking the time to listen to us. And we'll see you guys next time when we start to take a look at Seiju Sentai Gingaman. But until that time, you guys stay safe. We love you, and may the power protect you.